This is the story of the day. You ready for the story of the day? All right. So last week, Newsweek magazine, it used to be big, huge. Now it doesn't even publish. It's on internet, newsweek.com. They run an article saying, with my picture, okay, that 2 of my books have been banned in Escambia County, Florida. Throw the map up there. On the radio, it is in the northwest part of the state. Pensacola is the county seat, all right? Escambia County. The school district there has removed Killing Jesus and Killing Reagan from the shelves, along with an Anne Frank book, John Grisham, Stephen King, and 1,500 other books. Gone, vanished. This is the biggest book purge I've ever seen in this country. So I give an interview to Newsweek. We have it on BillO'Reilly.com. But I'm trying to figure out what the deuce is going on here. What is this? So you'll remember on July 1st, 2023, Governor DeSantis signed into law Florida House Bill 1069, which forbade inappropriate sexual material in books for school children. And that was a good law, but it wasn't specific enough, because there's no doubt that some Florida school districts were pumping in books that were inappropriate for 5 to 10-year-olds, but not Killing Jesus, not Killing Reagan, not Stephen King, not John Grisham, not Anne Frank. So what happens in all of these laws is that the people who are empowered, the librarians, they go crazy. They're loons. Oh, this book, and that book, and this guy. I'm just flabbergasted. Now, last week, a federal judge okayed a lawsuit against this county. And it's going to be heard in federal court because they're that out of control. Again, it's Escambia County, all right? So we started to do some investigating. Obviously, there's an abuse of power going on, and we got the usual runaround. But we did get a woman named Julia Friedland, the deputy press secretary for Ron DeSantis. Okay, there's Julia. Now, I knew that Julia was going to be snooty, arrogant, and dismissive. I knew that because I know how the DeSantis office operates in Tallahassee. If you don't kiss DeSantis's ring, they get snippy. And it's exactly what Julia did. She basically told us, go F off. Okay. So DeSantis did not issue any kind of a comment at all. Now, how does this affect the overall presidential run? I've never been a DeSantis fan, you know that. I haven't badmouthed him at all. I've covered him fairly. But he doesn't have it, in my opinion, my humble opinion. He's not going to be president. Maybe he'll learn a lot of lessons and he'll come back, but not this time around. I wouldn't vote for DeSantis. There's no way I'd vote for him. I just don't think he is at the caliber of what we need now in America. This is outrageous. He should know that. He should come out and say, as governor of Florida, I'm not going to sanction this. That's what Ron DeSantis should do, but he won't do it. And that says a lot about Governor DeSantis. Joining us now is Reagan Miller. She is in Tampa, Florida. She is a director of development for the Florida Freedom to Read Project, and they keep an eye on this kind of abuse of the new law. First of all, I supported the new law. I'm sure you read that in the Newsweek magazine article. I did believe that the state has an obligation to protect school children from crazy far-left zealots who want to bring these materials into the classroom. I supported that. But now we have crazy far-right zealots who want to do the Nazi thing and drag all these books out of the classroom. But I can't figure out why you would pick killing Jesus and killing Reagan. Any idea?
Right. No, I have a good idea. As you referenced, House Bill 1069 came out, was signed into law. And, this particular school district, Escambia County, is a very conservative school district. And there was in June, they had an emergency order that said, hey, we're going to go ahead with pressure from the community. Because if you look at this particular county, one of the most, they have more challenges than many counties around the state. And it's from one particular individual. And so, they took the more conservative approach that we're going to look through our whole, all of our libraries, which is fine. But what they, then did is this Department of Education, as you referenced, Governor DeSantis, they came out and issued a memorandum on October 13th, 2023 to all the school districts and said that any materials in a classroom made available in a school or classroom library or included on a reading list may not contain content that depicts or describes sexual conduct. And so Escambia County went further and said, okay, and as we're reviewing this, we want you to go through your entire library. And let's keep in mind that the libraries were completely closed when the school year started. And they said, go through whole, different review sources like Goodreads or Amazon, crowdsourced book reviews. And if books have sexual conduct in them, then let's pull them for further review. And that's how all of these books, including your books, were pulled for further review. So, we have 1,600 unique titles that were pulled, and so far only 100 have made it back on the shelves.
Okay, but let me stop you there. Sure. There's no sexual content in either killing Jesus or killing Reagan. There's no descriptions, there's nothing about it. It's not even close. So what is this really all about? Is it politics? They don't like the books? What?
If you look at how this checklist reads, it says go to, like in Goodreads, we were able to very easily pull up that it says in your book, Killing Reagan, for example, that he likes his feet rubbed and extramarital affairs. And that potentially meets the definition of sexual conduct.
But that is in stone history. That's history.
Right.
That would be like saying you can't have a book on Henry VIII because he had 8 wives.
Well,
right?
You saw they pulled the dictionary in the same county.
I know that, but
right.
Here it's straight down the line. Ronald Reagan had a few extramarital affairs when he was married to Jane Wyman. All right, but there was no description of that, other than, I guess, the feet thing, but that's, come on. And then killing Jesus, somebody said to me, well, it was because you described Mary Magdalene as working in a town that featured a lot of brothels. Again, that's history. Is that what it was?
Well, that's what we believe based on the reviews that we saw. But our Department of Education has sent out media specialist training, and what they've told them is to err on the side of caution. So I believe that's what's happening in this case. They're erring on the side of caution.
But then you couldn't have any history book. There'd be no history books.
You and I are on the same side.
But are you of the opinion, excuse me, are you of the opinion that this law should be repealed altogether? Because I am calling for the law to be far more specific.
I would like the Department of Education to issue additional clarification. So yes, we agree that things that are harmful to minors absolutely do not belong in our schools.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
My
books are not harmful to minors in any way, shape, or form. Now, here's an interesting question. Why not review the books, but don't haul them off the shelves? Just keep them on the shelves, then you do your review. And if there's something in there that's objectionable, You explain to the people of the county what's objectionable and why you're taking it off. Not just take it off first. That's insane.
I mean, I personally agree with you. I would like to see books stay on the shelves, but I think that this is, I think this is a significant cost to the districts. I think it's a waste of time, resources, to even really conduct this review.
And they're going to lose in court. They're going to lose in the federal court.
Federal court case, yes.
And they're going to have to pay all of those legal fees. State of Florida will. And they're going to lose, and they're going to be embarrassed. Final question. Do you know DeSantis at all? As I said, I didn't think he was going to do anything. He's not that kind of guy. He's like my way or the highway, and I signed the bill, so everything in the bill is fine. He's not a reasonable guy, in my opinion. All right?
Right.
But were you surprised that he did that? That he wouldn't comment on it? All he has to do is go, it's a little bit much. So we're going to tweak our policy here. Wouldn't that be the logical thing to do?
Yes, that would absolutely be the logical thing to do.
So are you surprised he didn't do it?
No.
Why?
He has a history of doing that.
You think he's a totalitarian?
I'm not going to call him names, but,
Well, this is what they do in totalitarian countries. That's what they do. They haul off any books they don't like. And they, I'm just shocked about the whole thing. Okay, if people want to help you, Florida Freedom to Read Project, how can they get with you, Reagan?
Oh, yes, please check out our website. It's fftrp.org, or follow us on social media at FLFreedomRead. And we would love to hear your feedback, what you're hearing, in your counties, districts, and, let us know your thoughts.
All right, Reagan, thanks very much. We appreciate it very much.